He said that Democrats are united in trying to push for that. Speaker Pelosi, meanwhile, has said that her position from before the election has not changed. She has been pushing for a rather high number that Republicans, it's believed, would still not be able to get behind. So it's still unclear exactly how they would get to yes on that package. And finally, guys, I just want to show you a few of the companies that the Biden transition is in discussions with. Plain said that regular consultations with Pfizer and other vaccine candidates will begin this week, and I've also learned that the Biden team has been in regular contact with CVS and Walgreens for months, even preceding the election, to figure out potential distribution of this vaccine, because the expectation is that you will need to be distributing tens of millions of vials of this vaccine, sort of dovetailing with the inauguration in the early days of this administration. So they're at least trying to establish those lines of communication unofficially, even as officially here in Washington, those keys haven't been handed over.
Hey, Kayla, interesting to hear Ron Klain talking about what needs to be done in the lame duck session. That doesn't mean anything is going to get done. And if you look at it, there are some pretty high hurdles. I think it's probably more difficult now to try and get a deal passed than it would have been before the election, when you had an administration that was really pushing for that. They stepped back and said that they'll let Congress and Pelosi be the ones to determine this. And even the calendar itself, there's not a lot of legislative time left because of the Thanksgiving holiday and then the end of the year Christmas holidays. They're not in session much. What are the odds that something actually gets done before Inauguration Day?
Well, they're not in session much, Becky, but they do have one major priority, and that is continuing to fund the government past December 11th. Now, lawmakers in both parties have a history of sort of getting in line behind these must-pass pieces of legislation and being able to add things that pose urgent need to these legislative vehicles, as they call them here. So there is a potential that, depending on how bad the virus gets, how much funding is needed, that there would be an effort to try to pass some sort of stimulus attached to funding the government, because that is seen as a must-do item on the to-do list before people go home for the holidays. Now, certainly, both parties have very different priorities when it comes to stimulus. Democrats want a very high number. Republicans have wanted a lower number. And Democrats on multiple legislative priorities, rural broadband, drug pricing. Throughout the summer, we saw them hold their fire in anticipation of a potential Democratic White House, because their belief was that they would get a multiple of the dollar figure that they would get otherwise if they were to reach a compromise with Republicans in the interim. That dynamic has not changed. But what has changed is the seriousness of the virus. We saw in March, partisan differences were put aside. A major piece of legislation, the largest in American history, was passed. So we'll just see if that sort of urgency presents itself again.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.
Tractor baggers are dangerous. It says you're fine. Wait, I accidentally said bagels.
Built-in Wi-Fi and the most tech-savvy Subaru Forester ever.
Joe Rogan Podcast, check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Drink by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day.
Good to see you again, man.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me. It's been like a year.
It's been like a year, believe it or not. You looked exactly the same, and the studio looks exactly the same. You might be on another part of the world. No one knows.
Yeah, it's just my apartment that I rent. You know, I don't like to give out a lot of information about where I'm at and that kind of stuff. So it's
Very
just
smart.
A plain wall that I've got the lights down low, so it looks kind of a nice gray. At least I think it's nice.
I think it's beautiful. It looks amazing. First of all, congratulations on the recent ruling. Was the 9th District Court of Appeals? Is that what it was? It said that what you exposed with the warrantless wiretapping was in fact illegal. And there are many people that are calling for you to be pardoned now.
Yeah, it's so much has happened. This ruling, this is actually not the first time the federal government has, or the appeals courts have struck down some of the federal surveillance programs as unlawful. But this one is really important because it happened from an appeals court. It wasn't from a single judge. It was from a panel of judges. And what they had ruled was that the NSA's bulk collection of Americans' phone records was illegal. And this is the very first sort of mass surveillance program that I and the journalists really, the news was broken back in 2013. So this is a huge victory for privacy rights. What it means is there was this provision of the Patriot Act. Like, remember the Patriot Act? Remember, like, a zillion years ago?
I do.
Everybody was laying out Patriot Act, Patriot Act. Your friend Alex Jones, you know, I think he was worried about Patriot
It's a terrible name. There's a real problem with that name. Because if you're against the Patriot Act, it's like against babies. Like this is a pro-baby act. Meanwhile,
My bag. Sitting up here strolling through Facebook,
it's
trying
like
to
the word patriot is attached to.
trying to get some people to interview for my next show, yo. Yo, what up, Dawson? Yo, really? I don't know. I this morning I've been emailing and texting a few people, just trying to do some business stuff. I need some new people for interviews for my TV show. There is a local grant that comes out every year. It's a $12,000 grant. I applied for it a couple years ago, and I didn't get it. And my friend sent me the link to the email earlier this week. He's like, bro, you need to apply for this shit again. So all last night, I've been just like filling out the grant application. And I need some letters of recommendation, so I contacted a few people about that. And I got to put together a small portfolio. But since it's COVID and all this shit, yo, we probably just have to send it in like digitally. Just email digital copies of our work or whatever, which isn't a problem. Like, I got tons of shit online. I just have to like save more stuff to my laptop because a lot of my shit isn't like, I don't have a lot of pictures saved directly on my laptop. So that won't be too hard. I can just go on Facebook and copy and save a bunch of my pictures, upload all of those, get those recommendation letters, and upload those as well. And oh yeah, definitely. And thank you, yo. But shit, just trying to stay busy, yo. My leg is getting better. I'm really starting to get restless now. So I just want to be back out there with the art shit. Get back in the studio, doing some interviews and trying to push my product, my brush holder. And that's something else that I specifically stated in this grant application. There's like, okay, if we give you this money, what the fuck are you going to do with it? And I'm like, yo, I have this fucking product. I'm going to invest most of that grant money into production and marketing of my brush holder system, so that a lot of that shit don't come out of my own fucking pocket like the first half of it did. And so that should be a pretty good plus on my side, because I actually have a legitimate project that I can invest towards. But most artists, when they get grants, it's just like, oh, what are you gonna do with your grant money? Oh, I'm gonna travel the world and go to France and soak up the art cultures of the world. And it's like, no, I'm gonna invest in classrooms for kids, putting out art projects for kids, and developing my brush holder. That's what the fuck I want to do with that grant money. But how y'all doing this morning? Everybody feeling all right? Got your day off to a good start. Hope you got out on the right side of the bed. Yo, for some reason, this blunt is acting all silly and shit. Just roll the fuck up, nigga. Wait a minute. Oh my god, dude. I get it. Looks like how I split it, because I kind of split it cricket, so now I gotta roll it like cricket a little bit. My bad. It's my own fault. That was my own fault. Yeah. That's why I can't even imagine working 2 jobs, yo. That shit crazy. I'm excited. That's what everybody says, yo. We might have another lockdown around the corner because the flu season coming, and people gonna get sick with the flu, and they're gonna call it COVID. Everybody said, "Oh, heat and the sun kill the virus." So now when it's cloudy and gray all day and it's cold as fuck, and people start getting colds and the flu, and sneezing and coughing and shit, everybody gonna say, "Oh, you got COVID. You got COVID." No, it's the flu. And yeah, we're gonna go back into a lockdown. I guarantee. Which is all good. Me, I don't. Like I say, man, I've been good this whole time, yo. This whole COVID time, I've been straight. I would have been at work now if it weren't for my foot. Like my job been straight, everything been straight except my art. Like that's the only thing. No art shows, no galleries and museums, and no events going on and shit like that. But everything else, it's all gravy. Yo, this grant writing shit takes forever, yo. That shit is boring as fuck, and it's just like trying to type up everything you fucking did, trying to remember every event you were a part of, every award. And like when I applied for it a while ago, I did all that shit, but then this time applying for it again, I just had to like update all the shit I've done for last year and this year. Oh wow. So the kids went back to school for a little while, and now they're saying, "Oh, shut down the schools again." That's crazy. They shut down movies, bowling, group activities, casinos, colleges, high schools, and sports. That was one of the biggest things around here. Like when the school year started back up, first of all, it was like, are the kids gonna go like physically to the school buildings or do home? And then they kind of figured out like, let's try half and half. But the main thing was like the sports. Like these little towns around here where I'm at is like heavily sports centered, and like it's not. They don't have like really big schools, but like the high schools around here, these motherfuckers are big into their fucking football and shit. 49% from high school students. Going to the games, going to the football games, the basketball games, and all that shit, man. These kids could not wait to play sports again. But I'm like, it's COVID, so you already know they're gonna be goddamn. All these extra cases are gonna be popping up. But then again, man, how much of this shit is COVID, and how much it is just regular flu or other little kinds of bugs, and you know, how many of these are false positives? Because they keep saying that shit a lot. People test positive for that shit and don't ever really be sick. Oh no, man, that shit is like I say. I've been sick this year. It felt like I just had a cold or something, and I was sick for a couple of days, and then I was just better again, and like a normal cold. But then some people say, oh, they tested positive for COVID, and then they kicked it in a couple of days just like Trump did. But do I think I had COVID? I don't think so. You know? But at the same time, like you say, these motherfuckers gonna start shutting shit back down. Nah, if you had it, you would know you had that shit. Yeah, I don't want to test positive for it, but I'm not voluntarily going to take a COVID test. Someone would have to forcefully make me do that shit. Like, you're not gonna stick some shit all the way down my fucking nose and all this other shit. I'm 28 and healthy. I was scared as fuck. Nah, I don't know. It just doesn't worry me like that. All right, I got one person for an interview. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. COVID is such a farce. This has been my whole sentiment the whole time. Is it real? Yes. Is it as catchy and deadly as they make it out to be? No. I don't know, in the beginning with all that China shit, and they had bodies all piled up in the streets and all this, and they had to build 3 hospitals in 24 hours and all this shit, man. It seemed like the end of the world. It was like a movie. You know what I'm saying? That shit was looking like 2012 all over again. But then, like, the more you hear from doctors and the more you hear, like, the CDC contradict themselves and all this other shit, it's just like, I don't know, man. Are we all gonna die from this shit? Is this really some global end of the world pandemic? I don't think so, man. I don't think it is as bad as they say it is. A 21-day coma. Yo, that's crazy. You thought you had a cold or the flu, and you saw a family member, and then that family member was hospitalized a week later. You put that woman in the 21-day coma? Let me find out you put somebody in a coma by breathing your germs on their ass, yo. It's fucked up. Yo, that's messed up, man. You what they call a super spreader. You a super spreader. As that Walking Dead hype. This is what I know too about the global elite, because motherfuckers be like, oh, it started in China or wherever. Yo, the elite are the elite of the globe. The Chinese elite, the Russian elite, the German elite, the European elite, the American elite, all these motherfuckers fuck with each other. And all of them kind of follow this same global agenda to push towards a global totalitarian dictatorship. So every once in a while, they have to give us something. She alive at least. After 21 days of sleep, nigga. 21 days later. But yeah, every once in a while they have to give us something that scares the entire world. It has to scare the entire world. Something has to unify us as a global society to kind of and keep us in our spot. And I'm not sure how they did it in previous decades, especially before mass media like books, newspapers, radio, television, and now the internet. So it's easier and easier to implement these type of fear mongering tactics. And so, like, the very first thing in my lifetime that I saw as an attempt to scare the global population into submission was global warming. Global warming is going to kill everybody. We're depleting the ozone layers and the UV rays and greenhouse gases, and we're heating up the planet, and it's everybody's problem. It's the problem of the entire planet. And everybody should be concerned and scared. You should fear this global warming. And that was the first global scare tactic that they used. The second one that I've recognized in my lifetime is terrorism. The terrorists, they're gonna come get you and kill you and your family. And it's something that we all should be scared of. Everybody, the whole world should be scared of terrorism. And you know, they've been playing that doom, 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 that terrorism drum for 20 years now. Ever since 9/11. Terrorism, terrorism, terrorism. And now, like, motherfuckers aren't so scared of terrorism anymore, just like we're not so scared of global warming anymore. And now we need something else to be scared of globally. COVID. It's a global pandemic. Everybody should be scared of this. Everybody must be afraid. You have to lock down. You got to do what the government tells you to do. Because this is a global problem. A world event. You know? 9/11, terror. And that's how it is. It's just like every generation, every 20, 25 years, they got to give us something that scares the global population into submission to listen to the dictations of the global elite. Oh, ruling powers, what should we do to stay safe? And so, you know, is global warming, climate change a real thing? Yes. Is it as bad as they say it is? No. Is terrorism a real thing? Of course. Is it as bad as they say it is? No. It's not. Is COVID a real thing? Yes. Is it as bad as they make it out to be? No. No, it is not. COVID-19, 11, terror. That's all it is, man. Stay scared. Stay afraid. You know, listen to us. We have your best interests at heart. We're doing all of this for the good of humanity. Blah, 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 blah. Whatever. You know, the main thing is fear. You need to always function on this fear frequency, this scared vibration. That's where we need your mind wave at. We don't need you to elevate to a higher plane of consciousness and start thinking of the abstract. We just need you to stay in your house and watch Fox News. Well, terrorism was a perfect scenario because it's an intangible thing, and that's how they can scare us globally, because it has to be something fearful but kind of intangible. Global warming. Can we touch global warming? Where is global warming? Where can I hold it? Can I put global warming in a cup? Not really. Just like terrorism, terrorism. Where is terrorism located? Oh, look under a rock. Oh, there's terrorism. Let's stamp it out. Like you can't really do that. So like the perfect scenarios are something that's vague but is based in reality and still somewhat intangible. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't reach out and touch this shit. You know, terrorism isn't a standing army from a specific country. You know, it's this idea. And that's what they get us afraid of, is these ideas. Oh, he's a terrorist. Almost anything can be considered terrorism. You know what I'm saying? If you word it right. You know, almost any kind of violent act. You know, a violent act specifically directed at a group or person can be, you know, worded in a terroristic manner. So what? Yeah, I don't fall for a lot of this shit, you know. I stay prepared for shit though, you know, because I got fucking, like, if shit was, and this is my thing, when there's like everybody was getting masks and shit, I'm like, bro, if you want to really like protect yourself from particulates and small particles in the air, you use something like this, not some paper, not putting a sleeve or a shirt over your face. Motherfuckers got rags and handkerchiefs and, you know, pieces of curtain and cotton and fabric motherfucking face coverings. And you ever seen what a chemical lab look like, or a viral lab where they're in close proximity to deadly viruses? Motherfuckers wear a hell of a lot more than a fucking paper mask, but they telling us, you know, just wear a mask, it'll protect you. Will it really? You know what I'm saying? This is low level protection, a low level respirator. You know what I'm saying? This is like the basic shit. Well, doctors wear masks in surgery, and that protects you. Yeah, because doctors don't go into surgery if they know that have a virus. If they have the flu or some other kind of illness, they're not going to go into surgery. So yeah, doctors wear masks to stop their breath and little spittle from getting on you in surgery in a sanitized environment. But if a doctor had knowingly had a virus, he wouldn't even be at work, because a paper mask wouldn't stop him from spreading the virus. Oh, that's definitely like I had one of my homeboys. He's been to Syria twice. He went to Syria the first time and got shot at, and went back again. You know what I'm saying? I have war buddies who have, one of my homies did 2 tours in Iraq. You know, some parts of the world are fucked up. You know what I'm saying? It's fucked up. Even if you play the campaign for not the newest, not that Cold War that just came out, but the last Call of Duty, when you play that campaign, they're over there in Chechestan or somewhere, and the female character says, the American character says something American, and she was like, yeah, this is our way of life every day over here. You know what I'm saying? Our life is a fucking war zone. So now you got these Proud Boys and Antifa and all these motherfuckers over here doing fucking live action role playing, out here LARPing like they really in some war zone. They don't know what they don't know what the fuck that shit is, man. These motherfuckers are crazy, yo. America is so fucking weird, bro. They like, These motherfuckers like, oh, Civil War this and Civil War that. Like, motherfucker, you go to Syria or Lebanon or somewhere like that and go over there and play that shit. Why don't you just sign up for the army and go over there and fight for freedoms? And if you really want to do that, but no, you want to stay here where it's safe and you know that that shit won't ever really get out of hand in America like that. Not if the industrial complex got anything to say about it. I don't think we'll ever see a civil war in America, yo. But these motherfuckers out here just playing like, I don't know, this shit is weird, yo. Like the white boy who shot the three protesters at the Black Lives Matter joint and killed one of them. No, killed two of them. Shot 3 people, killed 2 of them. But you ain't even live in that town. Like you live 20 miles away, across the state border actually. You live in a different state, 20 miles away. You hear about a protest going on, and it's like these motherfuckers are just waiting for a situation like this to be close enough to them. You know, they're watching the news and they're seeing all these burning riots in Philly and Chicago and all these other places, and they're sitting with their rifles like, I wish that shit would come around here. Motherfuckers bet not do that shit around where I live at. And soon as it gets close enough to them, you know, 20 miles away, oh, it's over there. They hop in their truck with their guns and they drive 20 miles to go do a live action role playing like there's some fucking vigilantes or some shit. You know what I'm saying? And wind up killing other. It's the whole shit is dumb as hell right now. Exploitive deletes. Yeah, Cal. Yeah, but a young kid who's not he's not of age to legally carry a firearm. 1. You're not even old enough, young boy. You're not even old enough to be carrying this shit in public, for 1. For 2, it wasn't even in your state. Once again, you and your family drove across the state lines because you heard about this incident that was just close enough to you so that you can be a part of it. And since you don't even live in this state, in this neighborhood, you're protecting someone's property, a stranger who has insurance on their car lot or their gas station or whatever it was. 3, everybody says this like, oh, he was getting chased. What did you do to provoke people to chase you? That was my main question. Some people can be dicks and assholes and want to buck up and buff at people for no reason. I get that. But it's very rare that an altercation will spark off so heavily that someone has to run without doing anything first. What did you do to make these people chase you? Everybody's out past curfew. And whatever you did or said to get these people mad enough or upset enough to chase you, they try to chase you and disarm you, and then you wind up shooting them, killing 2 people and injuring a 3rd person. And you're a fucking kid in a state you don't live in carrying an illegal firearm. And once again, you know what I'm saying? He's self-defense, he got chased, he was out there helping, you know, to stop the burning and looting. And then you flip it and look at it the other way. But if you take Kyle Rittenhouse, a young white kid, and place him with a young black kid with dreads in the same scenario, you wouldn't have Christians sending him thousands of dollars for his legal defense team. You wouldn't have a judge allowing him to miss his first court date and reschedule a month later, actually turn himself in from, he shot these people in this state, was not apprehended, left and went home, and then took a few days to turn himself in, and then miss his first court date. You know what I'm saying? You gotta play all these little factors into it. And I'm saying the shit is fucking weird as shit. For shotguns, you can legally go hunting. He did not have a hunting rifle or a shotgun. He had an assault rifle. You have to be 18 years or older to be in legal possession of an assault rifle. That's what the video shows. Yeah, but we don't see what happened. All we see is is him getting chased. Something happened. He did something to get chased. Yes? Or no, like he's just walking down the street, or he's standing somewhere protecting his business. Hey, don't come here messing with these people's business. We don't want to hurt you. We don't want to get hurt. You know, we don't want this business burnt down. And then people started chasing him away. I don't think that shit happened like that, bro. It was some type of altercation that occurred before the video started. And that's why he was getting chased. It was a legal Columbine mass shooting supported by Trump. I don't think Trump supported the Columbine shooting, bro. What the fuck? That's the first shooting. Like, I was in high school. I think I was in 10th grade. And that was the first time I've ever heard of a school shooting, yo. The Trench Coat Mafia is what they call themselves. The Trench Coat Mafia. Went up and shot the fuck out of Columbine High School in Colorado. And then killed themselves. That shit was crazy as fuck, yo. And then after that, you just seen like mad ass school shootings, random shootings, church shootings. And it's always like young white boys between the ages of 16 to 30 or some shit just flip out, want to kill every fucking body. It's like, what's wrong with y'all young boys, man? Oh, I watched the video like 20 times too, bro. I seen the guy with the pistol shoot. Yeah, and he shot up in the air like to stop. It was a warning shot. Bow! Stop running, motherfucker! He shot in the air. He didn't shoot waist level or at the ground or anything. You can clearly see the shot trajectory is up. He shoots up in the air. And then Rittenhouse turns and fucking sprays. Brow! But once again, like, why? And that's still, all of that was happening while the video was already playing, bro. Like, we don't know why. What did you do to get these people to chase you and shoot at you? not shoot at you, but fire warning shots. That's the whole thing. Like, what happened like the minutes before that? There was a conversation going on or something, and somebody said, well, who are you? Oh, my name's Kyle. Where the fuck? I ain't never seen you around here before. Where the fuck you from? Oh, I don't live around here. I live in the other state. And why the fuck you over here? Why is your fucking problem, bro? I'm over here. And then something happened. It had to be something. It was some kind of dialogue exchange or some interaction exchange before he ran. And this group that was pursuing him was upset enough to chase him and fire warning shots. People just don't do that for no reason. That's all I'm saying. If I'm protesting, if I'm on one side or the other side, and it's supposed to be a kind of peaceful protest or whatever, blah, 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 I ain't just gonna run up on somebody, beat their ass, start chasing them down, and fire warning shots at them for no fucking reason. Bro, I've seen it, bro. Trust me, dude. I've seen, and there was like 3 different videos from this shit, 3 different angles, because it was a far off angle from the parking lot when they was chasing him, he shot the first dude, and he came around the car. He's like, he got on his phone. He's like, "Hello, I think I just killed somebody. I just killed somebody." And then he ran again. And then it's another video from a different angle of that same perspective where it's closer. It's someone in the group, and you can see closer when the guy gets shot. And they said, "Oh, where he shot? Where's he shot?" He's like, he's shot in the head. And then there's another video when he's out of that gas station parking lot. He's running down the street, and he trips and falls. The one guy tries to hit him with the skateboard or something. Then he fucking shoots this guy. He stands up. He lets off a more, like, just shooting wildly in the crowd, just trying to back everybody up. He had no respect of life. He had no specific target. He did shoot the guy closest to him, and then he let off a few more shots at the whole crowd, like, pow, 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 back up, everybody, back up. And then that's when he shot the other guy in the arm. And then another video is the guy who got shot in the arm, and they got it up close on him, trying to bandage him up and shit, yo. I watched all that shit, yo. It was shots before he ran. I don't think I seen that part, bro. I don't know. I ain't seen no shots before he ran. Yo, my Instagram and my YouTube and everything is right here. Paintings by the Prince. If you got a link to a video for that shit, send that shit to me. I want to see that shit from the beginning, because the other videos of him prior to all the shooting, he's just out there with a group of guys. They're standing in front of some building business. It's already boarded up. He walks over to the cops. They give him some water, and they have a small dialogue change and that shit. You know what I'm saying? And then the next and that was kind of, it was still daylight during that video footage. And the next shit, that when the shooting was going on, it was already dark, and he shot all the people, and then he ran down the street again and ran towards the fucking cops. With his hands up, he still got his gun. He was like, "Yo, I just killed them people." And the cops just rolled by him. I guess he found his parents, and they just went home. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, that's what we talk about. Yeah, the dude he shot in the chest, who hit him with the skateboard, because they just witnessed him kill somebody. So he just murdered someone, and they're trying to stop him and apprehend him so he doesn't murder anyone else. And the one brave guy who tried to knock this motherfucker out got murdered himself. So now Kyle, 2 murders in the bag. This is my job caller. Hello? Hey, Renee, how's it going? I'm doing really well, actually. Pretty good. I had my first physical therapy this past Friday, and I got it arranged where I'll have physical therapy every Friday morning for the next couple of weeks. Oh yeah, they took the cast off last Tuesday, and I'm in a walking boot now, but have to wear the walking boot all day. And then Friday went to physical therapy, and my doctor said from Tuesday, she said 4 weeks to come back and see her again. And they have wedges in the heel of the walking boot, so I'm sitting up like 2 inches high, and I think in 4 weeks they'll pull one wedge out and lower it down, and then a few weeks later try to have me walking flat-footed again. Yeah, and the pain is barely noticeable. Been off the pain meds for weeks now, and with the physical therapist, he gave me some exercise I can do. I have to take the boot off the door, but he says in the mornings do some stretches and stuff, because my sciatic nerve is, oh my god, it's the worst. Like, my left butt cheek hurts. So like somebody just kicked me in the rear end. And he's like, yeah, that comes from, you know, not bearing weight and then trying to bear weight. And so he gave me a bunch of stretches to do to kind of get rid of that. But that's the only problem I have right now. Sometimes my butt muscle hurts. And my leg shrunk so much when they took the cast off. It was like my muscle is gone, like atrophied. I was surprised how much muscle mass I lost in just a few weeks. It'll come back fast. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. So I can shower with now. I still have they have like these tape strips around the incision, so I still haven't personally seen the incision myself. So they took the sutures out, and they have like these tape strips on it. And the doctor said you can wash it and everything, but don't scrub too hard around that area, and don't take the strips off. They'll fall off by themselves eventually. But I'm just happy I can wash my foot again. I swear, man. Uh, they have not. The time before last, my first doctor's visit after the surgery, I came home and the doctor's office called me and they said, "Hey, we have an email from Hartford. They need a patient confidentiality release form signed or something." And so I did that digitally, and she said that, you know, every what they want is a documentation of every time I have a doctor's visit. And every time I see the doctor, just after my visit, just tell them, "Hey, I need to send this release form over to Hartford." And so we've been doing that. And this is my, like I say, this was my third, well, counting the physical therapy, that was my fourth doctor's visit after this surgery. And so they should have at least 3 or 4 release forms from me. But I haven't personally gotten any emails from them at all myself. So I was just thought the process was just going through, and that's what I was hoping for, and that's why I didn't want to like aggravate people or and email you guys or email them and say, hey, I got bills to pay. But I just figured the process was taking time, and it'll just go through. Yeah. Okay. I do. Yes. And I think I wrote it down somewhere. And I was hoping that I asked them to send me like an email with the information in it, and they never did that. 27119972. Could you don't have that number on you, do you? I'll call them as soon as we get off the phone. So yeah, I've been out of work for a little over a month, and I have a pretty decent job, and I'm allowed to claim short-term disability. Even though this did not happen on the job, my job will still pay me because I can't work. And so my HR is just she's concerned. She's like, hey, are you getting your checks yet? And I'm like, no. And so she wants to make sure that the process is going like it should go, and that, I am receiving my short-term disability. So that's why this phone call is taking, it's kind of important. I need my money. I'm hurt. I'm injured. I can't work, but I have bills to pay. You know what I'm saying? I'm eating through my savings right now. I ain't working a month. How many people can go for a month without working? Hey man, that shit rough. You ain't get a paycheck in a whole month? That's 4 weeks. 4 weeks with no income. Bruh. Because bills don't stop, man. Shit. Bills don't stop. Bill come knocking at the door Hello? It's the first, my nigga. Hold on. Say that again. I'm sorry. 877 543. Okay. 7052. Eight 03695. And their phone number. Okay. Well, I really appreciate the concern, man. I know that's right. Alright, so I'll give them a call now and make sure this thing is going like it should be. Alright. I definitely will. Appreciate it. Hope you have a good day. Bye. My job is the best. She's like, this, you just called them and make sure your shit is where it should be, because hey, we pay for this and you're eligible, you deserve it, and they better be on the ball with this shit too. Like, she is not playing. Like, it's been on my mind, like, when them benefits gonna kick in, when I'm waiting on them benefits. But like I told her, like, I don't want to like call that company and aggravate them, like, where the fuck is my money? Or call my job and aggravate them. So I've just been trying to ride it out, like, hey, the process is a process. I guess that shit have hit my account, or they'll send me an email or whatever. I just haven't heard shit. But my job called me, like, yo, what's good? You got your money yet? They trying to make sure I'm straight, yo. That's why I love my job, yo. I ain't gonna lie, yo. This is the best job I've ever had, ever. Like, the benefits are wonderful. I just got a $396 pair of glasses for like $60. That's how good my eye insurance is, for $60, yo. Like, for an eye exam, new stylish frames, and the ultra scratch resistant lenses. Like, all that shit was almost $400 I paid like $60 for that shit, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like, short-term disability. Like, I did not hurt myself at work. I ain't do this at work, but they still, gonna look out for me. It's the best shit ever. Tell the doc my butt muscle hurts. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, yo. Right at the top. Like right at the top of my butt muscle, yo. Bruh, sometimes that shit be like I said, feel like somebody just bow and kick you in the ass, nigga. Like that shit be hurting, yo. Ugh. The message, I'll read it, yo. That's what's up. Now I need to call these people and make sure my damn money coming through.
A very disingenuous way. Like calling that the Patriot Act is it's really creepy that they could do that. It should have like a number, like Bill A1. You know what I'm saying? So you can debate the merits of it. It's just so much propaganda attached to that name, like the Patriot Act.
This is one of the funny things because it should be a warning for anybody who's in like, you know, just anywhere in the country and they hear on the news they're talking about like the Save Puppies, you know, act. There's actually one that's they've been trying to push through recently, which is basically outlawing meaningful encryption from the major internet service providers. Like if Facebook or Google, for whatever reason, got out of bed in the morning and they actually wanted to protect the security of your communications in a way that even they can't break. Like right now, Google and Facebook, they do a great job keeping other people from spying on your communications. But if Google wants to rifle through your inbox, right, if Facebook wants to go through all your direct messages and give that to the federal government, like you tap one button and boom, they've got all of it. It happens every single day. Well, companies like Facebook have recently realized this is a real problem for them. Because first off, they get all these censorship demands that you've seen, where like there's deplatforming requests. And it happens in one country, right? Like if the U.S. Government is allowed to decide what can and can't be said by this person on this platform. Or the U.S. goes, look, we got a court warrant. They said, a judge said, we think this person's a criminal. We want you to hand over everything you have on this person. And they do it, right? Facebook does this. Well, guess who's next, right? The Russian government shows up at the door the next day. The Chinese government shows up at the door the next day. And if these companies don't play ball, they get shut down in that country. They can no longer operate. And so the idea that a lot of them have, that they've considered, and this has actually become a bigger thing in the COVID crisis, where we start talking about like contact tracing. These companies want to know where everybody is at all the time so they can hand this over to medical authorities or whatever. There's this idea called end-to-end encryption. Which, what it means is that when you send a message, you know, when Billy sends a message to Bobby, Billy and Bobby both have the keys to unlock that message. And it could be sent through Facebook. It could be sent through Google. It could be posted, you know, on a bulletin board in the town square. But without that key, which the people who run the bulletin board, right, the people who own the bulletin board, Google, Facebook, they don't have that key. Only the phones at the end, the laptops at the end, the people who own those, they're the only people who have the key. So if somebody comes to Facebook and says, we want to see that information, Facebook hands over the encrypted message, right? And Facebook goes, well, here you go, here's our copy, but we can't read it. You can't either. Now you've got to actually do some work on the government side.
Yeah, sure, you can.
Yourself. And then you can read it, right? But we can't read it. Congress is trying to stop.
I missed a few comments while I was on the phone. Let me go back and see if I can read some of these comments I missed.
Online Predator Act, where they say it's all about protecting the posting of like child exploitation material and really, really horrible stuff. But that's not actually what the law is about. The law
yeah, they paid over $500,000, bro.
Spies and law enforcement.
Drip splash.
Deeper into your life with a simple warrant stamped by any court. Now, the funny thing is, this never used to be the way law enforcement worked in the United States. I mean, when you hear about a warrant,
your white privilege will always hide you from the truth.
Well, usually I think it means that they can come in your house and search.
Right.
The real issue with warrants when it pertains to encryption, like when you're talking about the Child Safety Act,
white privilege has nothing to do with white on white crime. That's the thing too. Like,
would say yes, we have to stop child.
That's how ridiculous that fucking protest was, where it's a Black Lives Matter protest and a white kid kills 2 other white people. The irony. I mean, I think that's still the funniest. Is it funny? No. Loss of life. Okay. Everybody mourning the dead or whatever. But still, you have to see the irony in that. Right? Is it just me? Is that shit not laughable? Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. White kid kills 2 white people. Oh God. That's the strangest part about that. Is like I don't know, man. It's so sad. It's so sad. The irony is just like, you can taste that shit. Tastes like a hamburger. That shit is juicy and savory. Oh, what's the kid who shot up the church in Charleston a few years back, killed 9 people, and he fled to North Carolina, and then when the cops caught him, they took him to get some hamburgers. That's how juicy that fucking irony tastes. It tastes just like that burger. Shit is so good. Yo, that is crazy. But this is what I always say, yo. Niggas can't have shit, yo. We can't have nothing for ourselves, man. Whatever we come up with, bro, motherfuckers love that shit. I just say, man, I wish, what they say, I wish they love black people like they love black culture. Everything we do, everything we come up with, motherfuckers love that shit, but y'all don't love us for some reason. I don't get it. I don't get that shit, bro. That shit be funny as hell. Dylan Roof shot, yo. And then, yo, the motherfucker got bailed. Somebody beat Dylan Roof up, and then some rich dude in Charleston bailed this nigga out of jail. He did what? He slap up Dylan? Man, get that man up out of there. That's my hero. How much his bail is? Man, get that man up out of jail. Got his ass up. He's like, you Dylan Roof? Pat, 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 pat. Motherfucker piece his ass up. and got out of jail. Ain't that some shit? Motherfucking Dylan. Went up in, they had service with these motherfuckers for damn near an hour. How you sitting here praying with these people for 45 minutes, and then you get up and unload on these motherfuckers, bro? Crazy. Crazy, man. A lot of psychiatrists and psychologists do a lot of different, social experiments and research. Somebody need to research why white people become mass shooters. Because when you look at the string of mass shootings in the past 2 decades, they're all carried out by the same demographic. But, the African American is projected as the most violent racial group in America, from, gang violence, drug dealing, and the gangster rap culture, broken homes and fatherless homes, uneducated parents, and all this shit. And, we get beat down and kicked down and spit on and looked down on, but we still don't go shoot up our fucking schools for some reason. No matter how bad the little black kid got it, you know what I'm saying? His mom on crack, his daddy in jail, he forced to sell drugs and all this shit, his sister a prostitute. That motherfucker don't get, his spirit ain't so crushed that he feels like, everybody gotta die, I'm gonna just kill everybody. He just don't see that shit going on, man. But we the worst of the worst, right? We the most violent, the most criminal. They try to say there's a criminal gene, and super predators and all this shit, man. But we don't be shooting up churches and schools and all kind of crazy shit, man. That shit weird as hell. I need somebody to research this shit. You know what I'm saying? I need an in-depth research study done on mass shooters like the Las Vegas shooter and all these other motherfuckers, the Batman movie shooting. Why these motherfuckers do that shit? They something deeply ingrained in the psyche, in the subconscious of the white American male, and it is something that is very, very violent. It's deep in there, and that shit is violent as fuck. And some of these motherfuckers can't contain that shit, and they just snap, kill everybody. I blame his terrible haircut. That motherfucker had the bowl cut for real, bro. Like, set that bowl on that shit and snip around that shit, bro. Like, damn. Yeah. Only black lives matter to him. They living in some crazy ass times, man. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news. The shit ain't gonna get better. I'm just. Will it come to a civil war? I don't think it'll come to a civil war, but it gonna come to the point where, for real, no matter all the bullshit and rhetoric, yo, we all gonna have to come together to defeat the motherfucking this crony ass government and this fake ass media system to keep all of us down. If you ain't part of the blue bloods, if your last name if your last name isn't attached to a central bank, if you're not a Oppenheimer or a Wilson or a motherfucking Rothschild or a goddamn Chase or Philip Morgan, that ain't your last name. You ain't in them families. They don't give a fuck about you then, huh? You might have the psychological advantage of feeling like you better because you got pale skin. But if you ain't a part of the elite banking system, man, you a useless eater, and they spraying chemtrails on you. They give your kids the same vaccines and feed them the same motherfucking growth hormones and recombinant, all that bullshit that they do everybody else. You ain't no different, you ain't no better. So what we need to do is come together to overthrow the government, the global elite. On the Indian reservation, man, bro, them Indian reservations all fucked up. I seen one shit, yeah, I was watching some shit, yo, on the Indian reservation, all the teachers at the school, white. Hey, I'm not being racist, I'm just stating the facts. How you on the Indian reservation, and you go to a high school on the Indian reservation, and all the teachers white? That shit getting washed out too, bruh. That shit gonna be gone in another 100 years. Them motherfuckers ain't gonna know who the hell they was either, man. They gonna bleach out every fucking thing, bro. All that shit gonna be gone. That's why we need to come together, man. You know what I'm saying? Stop all this bullshit, all this madness. You know what I'm saying? They gonna educate all of us into being little motherfucking wage slaves. On the Indian reservation, that shit, and they chipping away at that shit slowly. A couple years ago with that oil pipeline, the motherfucking Indians out there like, yo, this shit crossing our water, our clean drinking water. They hose them motherfuckers down and sick the dogs on them. Fuck your water and your reservation, bitch. We need this land for oil. And people don't know the Indians in Canada, man, the same thing. The Indians in Canada have reservations too. And the Canadian government slowly chipping away at their shit, taking all that shit back. To remind them of beaver pelts and smallpox. Damn. Right. I didn't know my girl left the house. My dog is up here really trying to get me. You gotta go outside, boo. Let me let this dog out real quick. Come on, let's go. Shit, yo, I had to walk all the way. That's the only thing about the studio, man. Yo, I love my studio. But bro, this shit on the 3rd floor, man. As soon as I hurt my leg, I was like, fuck! Why is my studio on the 3rd floor? It was the worst. Yeah, I'm tired of shit. I walk all the way downstairs into the backyard, let the fucking dog out, and then hobble my ass all the way back up here. All right. She lives in California. Maybe you can do a Zoom meeting. Alright, so that's awesome. I put out a notice on Facebook, so I wrote a song called Wage Slaves. I gotta hear that shit, bro. So like everybody know I have like a TV show, and we do interviews kind of like in sets. Like we'll go hard for like a week or two, and then it takes a while to get all those episodes edited down, and then to get them uploaded onto our network because they actually play on our local TV station. And so the last set we did was about 4 interviews. I think I did 5 interviews, and so all of those have aired already. But we only air them like once every other week, and so now we have like 12 episodes, and we can go back and kind of air some of the older ones and just play reruns. But now it's to the point where it's like, okay, let's get another set of fresh interviews. And so earlier today I just posted like, yo, who's ready for some interviews for my TV show, and got a couple of people responding already. So potentially there's already four people for interviews. One guy, I did an interview with him like a couple years ago, and the cameras weren't really the best for some reason with our session, and the lighting was kind of bad, so we never aired that episode. So I want to like actually get him in and do a new interview with him, because he did it once before. He wants his art and stuff to be out there. He wants to be recognized as an artist, but we never aired his episode. So he's definitely interested in doing another episode. So that's one guy. This other lady that I work with a lot, she wants to be interviewed, but she does like art installations, like big installments, and so it'd kind of be hard for her to bring like some of her best work into the studio. But I'm pretty sure she has tons of little stuff that she can bring in and to show, especially like her new project. She's working on like this quilting thing, I think. So I can definitely bring her in, and I'm going to message the studio now. Got a few people lined up for interviews. When can we get in the studio? Question mark. Alright, so already talked to a few people about interviews. Now just talk to the studio and seeing, what time frames we have to get into the studio. And then once I get a time frame on days and hours that we can get in the studio, then I'll let the artists know, hey, we can interview at this day and this time. Will this work for you? Yay or nay? The money is too good to say no to sell out my own race. What? What money are you talking about, bro? How am I selling out my own race for money? I need a clarification on this shit. Whoa. Yo, why is my YouTube buffering so long? Damn, Chris texted me back fast as shit too. Excellent. I'm at the studio now. Can you text Mary? She had the calendar on her desk. I think Thursday is free. Sure, no problem. I would sell out, but nobody wants to buy. People talking about, Robbie, when you get money, you gonna change? You goddamn right I'ma change. Fuck, I'ma stay around here with you for.
So along with teaching, it will be my 13th year.
Welcome to another episode. So this is my show, Roundtable Discussions with Travis Prince. Welcome to another episode of ECTV's Roundtable Discussions. I'm your host, Travis Prince, and today our guest is Jenny Matthews. Jenny, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Travis.
Well, thanks for coming to talk to me. The first thing I want to do is have you introduce yourself to our guests and Grayson Peace is a versatile artist who uses a wide range of mediums, working on everything from small canvases to large-scale wall murals. We'll talk about his style, techniques, and what keeps him motivated as a creative. Welcome to another episode of ECTV's Roundtable Discussions. I'm your host, Travis Prince, and today our guest is Grayson Peace. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm glad to be here.
Well, thank you for coming to chat with me, man. Philosophy and being in conversation. Welcome to another episode of Electric City Television's Roundtable Discussions. I'm your host, Travis Prince, and today our guest is Matt Cannizzaro. Matt Cannizzaro is a 2020 grad from Marywood University. He's a painter, designer, entrepreneur, writer, and musician. He is also known as Cat Matthews in the music industry. Here's Matt Cat. Matt, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Pretty good, man. I'm really happy to have you here and do a more of an official interview with you. Last December, we were at the AFA Gallery for the member show, and we did a small interview then, so I definitely wanted to bring you back. He said that shit gonna be on Disney. Netflix ain't got enough money for, I don't know, Netflix had enough money to pay Dave Chappelle, so I'm pretty sure Netflix got enough money to buy me out. I sell out to Netflix. Fuck that. Netflix got that bread. They got that bread. Hey, Mary, how's it going? Pretty good. So, I don't know, just text Chris to see if we had any studio time available. A couple of days ago, I put out a message, and today I put out a message on Facebook just asking people like, hey, who wants to do some interviews? And finally, a few people responded. So, but he said you were at the house and had the calendar to see what days were open. Okay. Thursday around 2? Yes. At least 2. A few people responded, but if I was thinking like whichever 2 can do it first, I would get those 2 in there, and then whoever else we can arrange a different date for them. Yeah. it's not. But I mean, we can have a third one as a backup just in case one of them doesn't show, and then if we can squeeze all three of them in. I know Nikki Moser. She went around starting at around 1 on Thursday. Oh, okay. Mhm. Okay.
Struggling with those flipping cameras.
Yeah.
And then, do sound check, and then by the time your guests arrive, we're able to start
Ready to
getting
go.
into that start time. And then schedule them, I don't know, about every 45 minutes. The challenge is going to be getting them in, because we have to keep the door locked for security for the tenants upstairs.
Yeah.
The challenge is going to be getting them in. It's not like you can say, oh, everybody's come at the same time, sit and wait your turn. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I guess we're going to have to, stay as close to, by scheduling every 45 minutes, we should be able to finish the show, have enough time to go up, bring the next person in, without them banging on the door, or calling on phones, or standing outside. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. One of these days we'll have a studio where we're working on it. We'll have a studio where, people will be able to come and go, and it'll be a little more user-friendly.
Yeah.
And those flushing toilets are showers draining. Already.
Well, I'll start contacting.
It's amazing what we persevered through.
Yeah, but our shows have come out so well though, and people can't even imagine like where the studio is at and how it's set up because everything looks and sounds so good.
Takes a lot of post.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of post. Especially your shows, because I want the artwork to look good.
Yeah, and that's what I try to tell the artists. They like, oh, where's the show? Where's the show? I'm like, dude, it takes a while to edit that stuff down. They're not going to do it overnight. Yeah. It takes a while. For the quality that we get, like, you guys are fucking awesome with that shit.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. If the cameras cooperated, I've been known to turn things around the same day. It's kind of a rush thing.
Yeah.
But that's because we're using the Canon cameras. Maybe I'll convince him to use the Canon cameras instead. But see, he can switch and he can do a nice fades and stuff. I don't know. She and I will talk about it. We're trying to get a new camera system and relegate that one over to the commissioner's meeting.
Oh, and leave it there. Yeah.
And get a brand new. The switcher's okay. It's the cameras. You know what? If you work with anything other than name brand cameras, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah.
In this industry. But he looked at all of the videos, and of course they make them look great. And they give you supposedly a great support package. Turns out not so much. They're not so great at what they do. But rather than just continue to complain, we've decided we're going to try and muster some funds to get something else and just do the editing that's necessary. But we have gotten better at getting the cameras to balance to each other, to look more like each other. And we figured out how not to crush the blacks. It just looks, visually it looks better the more shows we do.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of hope in that. So we'll schedule sorting the interviews at 1:30 on Thursday, but you'll come at 1, right?
Yes.
That way we can actually have you sit in. It's just better if we have the person sit in and not use, I think he's got those dummy heads,
Mm-hmm.
One's orange, one's kind of olive color. It's crazy. It's not that. So we'll see you at 1 o'clock on Thursday?
Yep, 1 o'clock Thursday.
So you're doing individual artists, correct?
Yes.
Some sometimes people will bring 2 or 3 people and won't tell us, but I can't imagine they do it. Although who knows? Maybe there's a duo of artists that collaborate. Who knows, you know? But yeah, okay. So, all right, very good. And we'll have the easels and everything. So I'll see you then.
All right, see you guys Thursday.
Okay, Travis. Bye-bye.
All right, bye, Mary. All right, so I got studio time set up for Thursday from 1 until about 5-ish. She said before 6, so Smoke, what's good, bro? Yo, Trouble Town, what up? Yo, I'm in that walking boot, boy. I got that space age technology. You see that grip right there? You know what I'm saying? Nike was trying to get this same design for their next pair of Jordans, but they couldn't afford that shit, you know. But I got that shit, yo. You know what I'm saying? Look at that sole right there, nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's off-road, that's on court, concrete, skateboard, everything. You know what I'm saying? I got the pump-up system right here. This is the Air Pump 3000. You know what I'm saying? I give myself some buoyancy. I can walk on water with this shit, man. The Jesus boot. Jesus boot. You know what I'm saying? Velcro straps. I'm in there, baby. I'm in there. You know what I'm saying? I feel like RoboCop over this shit. You know what I'm saying? My leg is healing well. I can walk with this thing on. But I got a big ass heel. I gotta start letting that shit go down so I can walk flat-footed again. You know what I'm saying? As soon as my foot healed, they say it might be stronger than it was before. I'll be ready to kick a nigga in the face. As soon as somebody say some shit, bow! Shut up. Dead in the face. You know what I'm saying? Alright, you been here talking all morning. I gotta paint a little bit, guys. You see her face? I gotta like finish her face and her neck at least. And then after I do that, I gotta finish this application for this grant. $12,000. Gotta shoot for that grant money. $12,000. Let me hold that. Then after I finish applying for the grant, I need to call these people about my short-term disability because my leg hurt and I can't work because my leg hurt and I can't work because my leg hurt. Now y'all gotta pay me some money 'cause I hurt myself. But what I need to do right now is you can clearly see where I stopped off adding the second layer of paint. So right there on her left cheek, her ear. I'm not going to do much to the hair right now, but I do just want to work on the skin a little bit more, finish her face, and at least her neck and the portion of her chest that you can see. And then the only other thing is just, you know, a bit of her forearm and a portion of her hand. You can't even really see her fingers right there. So there is not a lot of skin tone on this piece. So it shouldn't take that long to work my way through this. And then after we do the skin, I'll work on the background a little bit, which is very sparse. So I should be able to run through that. It's not a lot of detail in there. And then I'll work on the book she's holding, and then her pants and her shirt. So I think I'll play it that way. But yeah, I'm gonna this is my current piece, and this is the selection for this installment of the Reader Series. This is The Falsification of African Consciousness, Eurocentric History, Psychiatry, and the Politics of White Supremacy. This was written by Dr. Amos Nelson Wilson. I love his work. This is the third book that I have used of his for my Reader Series. And I may do one more. I've read more of his works than a lot of other people, and that's why I choose to like share those in my artwork, because I think people need to read this shit. You know what I'm saying? Since I got a few of y'all in here right now, I'll show y'all the last painting that I just finished, which is another installment for the Reader Series, because I love fucking books and I love trying to educate my people. So once again, there's a member of the Reader Series, And the Reader series, each painting is entitled by whoever book is the main book. So in this book, that main book is Malcolm X. So that's the title of that painting. This main book is written by Chancellor Williams. So that's the title of that painting. The main book that she's holding right there is written by Michelle Alexander. So that's the title of that painting. So each painting is titled after the author of the main book. And that book on the wall is Message to the Black Man, written by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So that is entitled after that. But since I'm doing 3 installments using Amos Wilson, I have to title his Amos Wilson number 1, 2, and 3. So this is Amos Wilson number 2. The first painting I did using his literature was Black on Black Violence. I'll show you guys. I actually sold that piece. I'll tell y'all how much I sold it for too. Almost $4,000, yo. I sold it for $3,800. So I don't have it anymore. But the first piece that I did from Amos Wilson, it depicted this book, Black on Black Violence, the psychodynamics of black self-annihilation and service of white domination. So in order to understand Black on Black Violence, you should absolutely read this book, and you will see how it does not exist and it is only a myth. And if you do want to coin this phrase, it is only because of the psychodynamics of black self-annihilation in service of white domination. And that's where we get this from. So the painting I did with this book, it actually sold to an old white dude, because he told me this is an important painting and I must have it. He said this will be important, and he paid me $3,800 for that painting. So that was the one with Black on Black Violence was the first one. This one is part 2, Blueprint for Black Power, a moral, political, and economic imperative for the 21st century. Also written by Amos Nelson Wilson. We have some other familiar books in here, Niggas to Gods. Yeah, you can make out that this would say Dick Gregory. Ooh. I always have to put my little thing in there, you know, because 9/11 was an inside job. There's a bunch of other cool books on here, but once again, the main book is here. The other books, once again, the falsification of African consciousness. Now this takes like second place in this piece, but in the next picture, like I said, it will be front and center on that next painting. Because people need to read this shit, man. So I worked on this for about, I don't know, put about 70 hours in here, maybe, something like that. And this is the second piece that almost has as many books as this piece does. Like that shelf has all the books on it though. And this was I took this at my local bookstore actually. I just changed some of the books on the shelves to fit my own narrative. Yeah, that shit hot, son. And then I just started this painting of my homie. This is the second time I've painted her. My homegirl Glynis. A picture she took at the beach, looking all slim and sexy and whatnot. So, don't know when I'm gonna get back to this because, like I said, I have a couple of other pieces ahead of it. But the underpainting is done, and I'll be working on this in the next couple of months. But right now, it's all about this piece. All right.
But the problem with having the ability to use something like that to stop child predators, in my eyes, I start thinking, well, if I really wanted to look into someone, what I would do is I would send them.
Trying to find something cool to listen to while I paint. Something like, I don't know what, guys. Any suggestions? Something that I can listen to that I won't get banned for.
I wouldn't drink that, by the way. Oh, is this yours? When I drank. I think we're just not convinced, though. I wouldn't drink that, by the way. Oh, is this yours? When I drank.
So the way the format of the debate will work, so the motion is morality without religion is bankrupt. The way the debate will work is that Alex and Keith will both give 10-minute speeches on either side of them.
It's weird when Christians Lodi chill hop, or lo-fi chill hop. It's weird when Christians try to debate morality. Like, you can be moral without a religion. Like, I don't fucking get that shit, yo. There is no debate there. I don't need a religion to be moral or to be empathetic. Just because I don't practice morality or I don't use empathy doesn't mean I'm void of it.
You are now witnessing a master at work. Oh, I need to add some colors. I need a little bit of orange. Throw some orange on here, you know. You are now witnessing